Warning, some viewers may find the following footage deeply disturbing.
The wrestling podcast that sets all other podcasts apart. Covering news from the world of WWE, AEW, TNA, and more. Your favorite weekly episodic podcast, Ramblers Unleashed, starts now.
Well, welcome to your Saturday night delight. It is Ramblers Unleashed, and we are live on not only YouTube, we're also live on Twitch.tv. We're really happy to be here with you. We had a lot of things to do this afternoon, so that's why we're here with you right now versus, earlier today. But happy to be back. Happy to have all the guys back with us regular. Let's start it up with our intros as we always do. First up, Baron, you were on assignment last week, and you came to us with an interesting concept. But you wanted to go longer, and I said you got to wrap your study up, man. And here's what you were studying: what's better, an hour of fresh air or watching an hour of AEW programming? Because you could have gone for a long time trying to figure out what's better. So, what was your conclusion, buddy?
Hey, thanks, guys. Yeah, thank you. It literally took me 2 minutes. I walked out for 2 minutes, seen the sun, felt the breeze, and it was better than all of AEW. It didn't take much, man. It was a quick assignment. I'm used to this 2-minute stuff, so it was good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're happy you're back. I'm glad that you concluded that anything is better than an hour of AEW programming.
Yeah, man, I miss you guys though. Every show that I miss, I'm like, wish I was there. But it feels good to be back and get a round of applause from the crowd out there today.
Yes, yeah, that your public missed you, man.
Yeah, thank you guys.
You're
miss
welcome.
you, really miss you.
Yeah. Next up, let's introduce the neighborhood heel. By the way, golfers clap for the Barons. Love it. Next up, the neighborhood heel, a man with more wrestling knowledge in his pinky finger than Tony Khan could ever muster up, and the only guy that I know is that pops bigger for Joel Gertner than any of us on this show. You can address him as Mr. Mages, but we call him the mighty Maximus Mages. Golfers clap. How are you, buddy?
Listen, it's been a really bad week. I am not going to subject our listeners to my week. I do want to say that I love and respect the Baron. However, I have to disagree with him, and here's why. With the way the temperatures have been this past week, that did not help my week, and I just could not handle being outside in that heat for an hour. On the flip side, if I sat down to watch AEW for an hour, guess what Uncle Max is doing? He is taking a nap, and Uncle Max needs his nap, all right?
I thought you were going to say you were going to get high because that's the only way you could watch AEW.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's what we determined about the ECW stuff that we were doing. This, I can get a nap in,
No, I think during the ECW phase of the Ramblers, weed was untouchable. It was hard liquor and Bud Light and a lot of drinking going on during those periods.
Oh, anything that we could find,
man.
Listeners, I just want you to know I am the only one that has positive memories of the ECW review show that we did. I don't know why that is. I know that they had a hard time sitting through it, but damn it, when we got together to discuss it, we actually made it fun.
Oh, yeah, the shows were great.
Yeah.
I don't even know if we talked about the show the entire time, though.
We talked, we went through some of the matches, but most of the time it was just us moaning and groaning.
Literally.
It was, and most of the time it was Bubba. That was the moaning and groaning because he didn't want to do them, and I forced him to do it. So
he had that tone in his voice, like, "What in the hell am I doing?"
Hey, any updates from Bubba? We had a week of Bubba, and then we hadn't had anything this month.
Yeah, we had 1 week of Bubba, and really there hasn't been much that Bubba could chime in on. as far as wrestling goes. I mean, the biggest one that he chimed in on was Vince McMahon.
Oh, yeah.
When that story just broke, he gave his insight for that. So I think Bubba's okay. I think he's just laying low, doing the whole family thing. We miss you, Bubba.
Yeah, we miss you, Bubba.
Miss you, buddy. Finally, let's introduce the producer of our show, the man, the myth, the absolute legend. For without his tech wizardry and the gizmos that he brings to the show to make it better, and his vast wrestling knowledge, and of course his missus is so kind to gift us his time to do the show. For without him, we wouldn't be here tonight. The host of Smash This Podcast and total nonstop impact with the latest TNA reviews on YouTube over any other podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the great, the infamous J-Bone Golfers Clay. J-Bone, how are you, my friend? They're going nuts. They're going nuts for you, bud.
You gotta wait till after the show, all right? Gotta wait till after the show.
Autographs after the show, please.
Yeah. Please, yeah.
We ain't signing no autographs tonight.
How are you, buddy? How are you, J-Bone? You doing all right?
I'm good. I am good. Yeah.
Good. By the way,
we got a few new sound things we're testing out tonight. So it's we're kind of making it like the old school show that we had. 10-ish years ago. So hope you folks dig
it. I dig it. By the way, we have a birthday to announce, and it is Mrs. Barron's birthday. It was a couple days ago, right?
No, today actually.
Was it today?
Yeah.
No shit. Well,
Yeah.
I need to go on. I need to go on to a Facebook. Happy birthday!
Yeah, you know,
Karen.
it was in the household. Birthdays.
Yeah.
You know, we try not to like get too crazy or anything like that. You know, you gotta enjoy your time. Get some good food in your belly. Which.
So what did you do for her birthday?
We did, you know, some running around, went to a couple places, and we went to eat at Outback, which who doesn't not like Outback, you know?
Man, I know. I haven't been to Outback in years.
The Bloomin' Onion's untouchable. Like that appetizer is ridiculous.
Well, hold on. What's better? Is Outback's Bloomin' Onion or Texas Roadhouse Bloomin' Onion?
Bloomin' Onion by 1,000 times. It's not even remotely close to the same thing. So like what I have found, and because I go to both quite often, Bloomin' Onion is actually like their onion's always cooked. It's always like crispy.
Oh, yeah.
Texas Roadhouse does not cook their Bloomin' or what Cactus Blossom as long as like you know, Outback, and it's always kind of like, I wouldn't say cold, but it's not, you know, not crunchy. The onion's always kind of like still raw. It's not like cooked. Outback 100 times.
Okay. Yeah, because the last time I know you gotta have crispy onions, man. When you have a Bloomin' Onion, got to have a crispy onion. The last time I was at Outback or Texas Roadhouse, we ordered the Bloomin' Onion, their version of the Bloomin' Onion, and it was just mushy.
Yeah, that's my complaint with it. I would still get it every time I go there. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah,
but it was like it's good, but it's really good with like the roll and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
The part you want crunchy is the outside, that deep fried casing that goes around it. If you've ever had an onion ring, that deep fried casing is crispy, but the onion is soft. It's soggy, and that is how an onion should be made. It should not be diced up and just put on something raw. That's not what onions are for. You're supposed to deep fry them or saute them, and that's where they get their flavor.
And that just makes it so much better. Like that is how a Bloomin' Onion should taste. You know
what? You know, I haven't had one in so long. What the hell do you even dip that in?
They have each place has like their own kind of like dressing. I I don't even know what you would call it, but like Outback's dressing 100 times better.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
it's like a
Like
it's
a spicy ranch kind
yeah,
of
it's
thing
like a
going
spicy
on.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
but it's like orange colored, red
Mhm.
colored, something like that. Yeah, I don't know what they do to it, but it is phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
I tell you what, I've been hitting the Chinese spot here where I live quite a bit because they have this yum yum sauce that is just out of this world. I don't know what.
Yum sauce.
Yeah, yes.
Yum yum sauce, Diz. Huh?
That sounds like that sounds like the worst pickup line ever. like
Hey, baby.
yum yum sauce.
Hey, baby, I got some yum sauce for you.
We have a place pretty close to me that we're gonna all be fucking starving. I am on the planet of 13 right now, and then when food talks happen, it gets worse. But we have a Chinese buffet close by, and
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, Warrenton.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. I've been there, and the buffet here where I live is really good. You can take it home with you.
Oh
Like
no
you
shit.
go
Okay.
you go in, they give you a styrofoam box, you load up with whatever you want, and you put it on their like little weighing machine. They say whatever, and then whatever you owe, and then you pay it, and then you take it home. That's what I do.
Courtney. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Courtney.
I feel like the one that's local to me, they would throw a shoe at me if I try to take anything home. So I haven't attempted.
They might. And then there's another spot in our close to us, Baron, that when you get the food, it's so much food. It's like huge portions, and I know you're gonna know this when I say Lotta Wada Creek.
Oh yeah.
It is just phenomenal. It's fire. I love it. Look, listeners, if you ever take a trip to Illinois and you're close to O'Fallon, Illinois, make sure you stop by Lotta Wada Creek. It's well worth it. You'll go home with seconds and thirds.
Oh yeah, it's over. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Oh, it's so much food. It's Southern comfort. It's so much food, and that's a free plug. Lotta Wada, if you ever hear this, that's a free plug. Sponsor the show.
There is another restaurant out there that you guys should be pushing. I know there's one in Ozark and one in Branson. The original is in Sykeston.
Is it the home of the throwed rolls?
Oh my God, it's the home of the throwed rolls.
Yeah, baby. I've not been there. I gotta go.
I remember when we were younger, and I say that, I mean, like, I was not even a teenager yet, and we're
talking about Lambert's, right? Not to cut you off. I'm just
Lambert's.
Okay, yeah.
And we had stopped in, and Lambert himself came out with a pan of potatoes, and he's going around, because that's what they do there. They go put some more food on your plate. They want to make sure you're fed. Mm-hmm. He comes around. I'd had enough of the potatoes and all the other. I wanted more rolls. He's like, "You want some more potatoes?" I'm like, "No, I'm good." Silly communist. And I was too young at the time to understand that this was a joke. I'm like, "Dad, he just called me a name," and Dad's like, "I know, it's okay." But Lambert was a really nice guy. Made sure I got rolls after that. And
awesome. Yeah, and I'm not too far from Sykeston, so I need to go down there and check it out for sure.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. And I know.
I know is that you guys are making me freaking hungry. I got a Chinese place.
I think that's why this talk continues as long as they, because we're like, fuck, we're hungry.
I got a Chinese place literally across the street from my house. I got Domino's across the street from my house. I got Mickey D's across the street from my house. Cousins, and I'm like, you're killing me. We're live now, and man, all I got are my lollipops. We continue.
Well, let's this isn't a food podcast. We could probably go on for hours about our favorite food, but this is a wrestling podcast, so let's get into the professional world of wrestling, the wonderful world of professional wrestling, I should say. With sad news to kick off the show, Afa Anoa'i has tragically passed away, and there were a lot of people posting it early. A lot of the dirt sheets were posting this news early, and I found it and I sent it to the guys, and it was J-Bone who said, "No, he's still alive." I don't know why the dirt sheets are telling you different, but he's still alive. But we do have official news that Afa has passed away. So if we could, J-Bone, get the Tim Bell salute ready for Afa, and I will take off my hat as I always do, and we will mute. Rest in peace to Afa Anoa'i. And it's sad, man, because we're losing wrestlers left and right. We lost Kevin Sullivan not too long ago, but what, about 2 weeks ago? And now Afa.
That was a week ago. And then just a few weeks before that, in late June, was his brother Sika.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's going on, but we need to stop losing. And like I've always said this, I really, every time my phone goes off and says, somebody has passed away, I'm always thinking of Ric Flair. I'm like, I don't want to lose Flair. I really don't. But the guy's getting up there in age, and I just pray to God it never happens. Pray to God it never happens. But the wrestling world is mourning the loss of WWE Hall of Famer Afa Anoa'i, one half of the legendary Wild Samoans who passed away. Among those deeply affected by his passing is his nephew, of course, Rikishi. He's a legend who took to Twitter and X to share a heartfelt tribute. In his message, Rikishi expressed the difficulty in finding the right words to convey his feelings, ultimately choosing to reflect on the personal moments he shared with his uncle, moments that the public never saw. He tweeted, quote, "I really wanted to take my time to try to find the right words to express my feelings regarding the passing of my uncle. And sometimes there are no right words. There aren't. There really aren't, especially if you have such a close connection with your uncle and family like that." So, and Jey Uso cut a emotional speech about the Wild Samoan, Afa Anoa'i. Was a true legend, of course. Following the conclusion of Friday Night SmackDown, Jey Uso reflected on the passing of Afa, expressing his heartfelt emotions. He acknowledged the recent tough losses his family has endured, with Afa's passing being one of them. Despite the sorrow, Jey Uso found solace in being in the ring, which brought joy to his family and the performers who participated. He gave gratitude to the fans and specifically thanked Damian Priest for his support during the difficult time. Roman Reigns also released a statement on Afa's passing, among others. And our thoughts and prayers are with the Anoa'i family at this time. I hate this news. I hate it. I hate it when we lose wrestling legends. I hate it that this happens. And, like I've said this before, these guys to us were superheroes. Nothing could harm them. Nothing could. They faced off with the biggest and baddest that the WWF and the WWE could throw at them, and they were our superheroes. And when it comes down to reality, they're people, and it sucks. It sucks big time, but we have to, at the end of the day, we have to remember that, yes, these are people. Yes, they have families, and yes, they are entertainers,
Yeah.
But it's just hard. It's hard to process a lot of this. So
yeah. You know what? I wish there was like I know that there is some stuff on. Well, I'll call it the WWE Network. It's all on Peacock, but you know what I mean.
yeah,
I know there is like a fair amount of classic stuff from the 80s that's on there, but I really don't know like how far back the stuff goes. It's like 80, I want to say it's like 83, 84-ish. Probably a majority of it is. I wish there was, and I wouldn't even have to have commentary necessarily for it. I would just love them to put out like a whole string of Madison Square Garden shows from like the 70s and early 80s prior to the big Hulkamania boom, the big MTV boom.
yeah,
And just see like who we're talking about, see Kevin Sullivan in the early days, see the Wild Samoans go up against Andre.
yeah.
With Captain Lou Albano at ringside, stuff like that. I just saw a trailer today for now this might be more of the AWA. I'm not super sure of it, but there's it's kind of like a documentary acted out with classic footage mixed in with it. It's about Baron von Raschke, and I'm like, oh man,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
What a monster of a guy. I met him just over, I don't know, somewhere like just over 10 years ago at a local show, and what a nice guy. I mean, he was he was terrifying back in the day, but there he was with his wife signing autographs, but then he would get into character for the picture, and he's like, it's like, there he is. I wish there, and if it is on there, somebody let me know what to click on, because it's not the easiest thing to get around in.
Yeah, right. And I think there's a lot on Peacock. I don't think there's as much as what the WWE Network had, but there is. I think there is quite a bit on Peacock. But
you can never find anything.
I know it's hard to. There's
no organization to that app, and of course I'm going to talk about it because it pisses me off every time I'm on there.
I know.
And no, it doesn't have as much as like the WWE Network did, but there's some old stuff on there, some AEWA. There is a lot of older stuff on there. You just kind of have to like scroll through that a little bit. And it's not a lot, it's very, very small amount. But
I've noticed that not all of the original programming moved over, like the road trip or whatever, where they're in the car or stuff like that. Not all of that came over. And I also noticed that if you try to go watch Raw, if it hasn't been a month since it aired, don't try to watch it on the network.
Yeah.
That's so stupid. That is so...
No, it's not up to date. It's not current.
That is so dumb, which is why I think they're slowly, progressively trying to move away from Peacock. I see after this Peacock deal is done, I legitimately think they're going to move SmackDown to Netflix as well. If everything on Raw goes well with Netflix, I think you'll see SmackDown there. I think you'll see NXT there. I think you'll see the PLEs there. It'll all be on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, and it'll be easier to find. I hope they expand the library too.
Yeah.
Is the Legends House on Peacock?
I don't know.
That was one of the best fucking shows.
I know.
Ever on the network. I absolutely loved it.
I never watched it.
Oh, dude, if you can get a hold of it, bro.
I'll tell you what. I'll look. You guys deal with why Styles is off his meds.
Yeah, Styles wants to know. Styles wants to know how much is the WWE today, and how much. There you go. I was just waiting. Yeah, there it is. 999. All right, let's do some news. Let's kick it off with some WWE news, of course.
Oh, hey, hang on 1 second.
Yeah.
I know we've been like rattling a lot, and well, that's what we do is we ramble. But I do want to touch on this. Thank you, Thank you, Bell's boy, for being here. Love your brother. He's talking about one of the Triple Manias is tonight, because I think they do like a 3-night thing across the year, like this month, and then a few months later they do another night, then they do like another night towards the end of the year or something to that effect.
Yeah.
But here, Matt Riddle, looks like Matt Riddle made his debut and beat Laredo Kid, who was champion and commander, to win the AAA cruiserweight title. So, hey, congrats to Matt Riddle.
Congrats to Matt Riddle. Been a while since we've heard that name.
And I know that I'm always going to call him Ziggler.
Dude, yeah, there's no way I can. It's Ziggler to me always.
Nick Nemeth is facing Alberto El Patron, a.k.a. Del Rio, in the main event. Now, those two wrestled the last time. I
was going to say, didn't they already have a match together?
Yeah.
Did Ziggler win?
At the recent one, that's where Nemeth won. And but I don't think he's been back since to defend it.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting.
I just can't believe there's anyone willing to employ Del Rio at this point.
That's kind of what I thought too, and I kind of thought the same for Matt Riddle.
Yeah, I mean,
he's kind of a piece of shit. So
Matt's kind of gone off the deep end, and we wish him the best. But there is Legends House. Okay.
Oh, okay,
Peacock?
cool.
Peacock. Thank God.
Watch it, J-Bone. If you ever get free time, doing something around the house, pop it on, because it is probably one of the best. Oh, it is by far the best thing that the network ever put out.
When Piper goes out to, like, what does he do? Fucking howl at the moon or some shit.
He did a lot of shit. They all did.
They all did some
weird shit on there, man. It was
Tony Atlas was on there, and he was looking at Piper, and he's like, "What the fuck is he doing?" And he just goes outside and just howls at the moon. It is one of the best. It's the big brother of wrestling, of like legends.
Okay. See, I don't get into reality television like I did probably like 10, 15 years ago.
I wish they would have done. I wish they would have kept doing that.
Yeah, I wouldn't even really consider it a reality show. It was more of a get the legends of wrestlers in the house and let them just do weird shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it was. And it was comedy. It was dark. It was sad. It was all of the above.
I want to know who came up with that idea, because I'd love to shake their hand. And if it was Vince McMahon, fucking kudos. It was. I hope that it probably was Pat Patterson, honestly. But I'd love to shake that man's hand. Whoever came up with Legends House, thank you. That was great.
That's the big thing that came out during that show, is he came out of the closet on that show, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Although it was like known in the industry for like forever. But
yeah,
it was a great show. I loved it. I would watch it again. Now that I know it's on there, I might actually do that.
Yeah. Bring it back, network, WWE. If you're watching this, please bring back Legends House. There's so many legends that need to go into a house that just lock up.
Oh, yeah.
However long they lock up for.
There you go.
But all right, let's move on to some wrestling news. Let's kick it off with some WWE, since we're already talking about the network, and let's talk about Jacob Fatu. SmackDown emanated from the Kia Center in Orlando, Florida last night, featuring the Tribal Chief's return to continue the storyline between he and Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga stepped into the ring during the closing segment of SmackDown, and the OTC chant started. And Solo then directed his focus toward someone who needs to acknowledge him, and that is Roman Reigns. Solo stated that if Roman wants the Ula Fala back, he'll have to come and take it from him. And at that moment, Roman made his entrance, complete with brand new theme music too, by the way. Roman wasted no time taking out Tama Tonga, and as Roman prepared to powerbomb Tonga on the outside, Solo attacked him, but Roman quickly gained the upper hand, speared Solo Sikoa. Roman reclaimed the Ulafala, placed it on his head, prompting a huge reaction from the Orlando crowd. Suddenly, that's when Jacob Fatu, from out of nowhere, jumped Roman Reigns, and despite being in a walking boot, he moved well enough to spoil Roman's moment and beat down the original tribal chief. Jacob then took the Ulafala with Solo, retaining possession of the prize, and Roman Reigns ate a Shields-style power bomb through the table. I missed SmackDown because I was doing other things, but I know some of you guys watched it. What are your thoughts on that, man? It was a big return.
Dude, it was awesome. It was kind of like, wait, didn't we just do this last week? Okay, well, let's wait and see where it's going, because last week Roman showed up, tore the house down. It was like, oh, he's back. Okay, it was this big SmackDown return. This week we're continuing it. The big underlying thing is they're keeping Fatu away from Roman. He's got this boot thing going on. Is he really injured? Is he banged up? No one's saying nothing. Oh, it's planned. Oh, okay. All these other little things are being said, and it's like, all right, whatever. It's basically still love the storyline. Keep this guy away from this guy, because we know when they do match up, it's going to be something special. Well, like an RKO out of nowhere, Fatu comes back, super kicks him with the damn boot on. I was like, oh, like, and if you look through, like, scroll through the pictures on WWE.com, they actually got the money shot where, like, the boot connects with his face, and I'm like, oh, it's golden. Like, I love this story. It's like, oh, Fatu's back. Oh, and he's running like he's not even limping. It's ridiculous. It's, oh man,
this has been one of the best well-told stories in professional wrestling that we've had in a very, very long time, and it's refreshing. I love this. I love the Bloodline feud. I love the fact that we had the Bloodline to begin with, and they were ultimate heels, and Roman was head of the table. And now this is just even better. This puts the icing on the cake, especially when Rock came in and did what he did, and kind of put like a big question mark, like a rift in the middle of the Bloodline between Solo and Roman. And it was beautifully placed. It was beautifully done, beautifully executed, beautifully placed. I'm a fan, man. I like this.
Yeah, what's funny is, like, I'll watch it with my wife Tracy, and she's like, "Where's Jay? Where's Jimmy?" And I see other people online. Where's Paul? Where's Brock? All this stuff, they're like, it's like, yeah, all right, we can't blow everything at once. You got it. Well, because some people are like, ooh, Brock could come back because, he's still, could be a Paul Heyman guy. You never know, because if this all boils up a couple months down the line and they just let it simmer, they could do a big War Games type show.
So then we throw CM Punk into the mix.
No, this is like Bloodline versus Bloodline I'm talking about.
Yeah, but you said Brock because he's a Paul Heyman guy. And so is CM Punk.
Okay. I see what you're doing. It's just because Brock and Roman have a past, and if Paul Heyman brings them together, it'd be like just mind blowing. I didn't think about Punk. I suppose, but I think they would rather put Jay, Jimmy, Roman, and Brock together. Maybe Sammy. I don't know. Just there's options.
There's a lot of options. It's untapped to what we can see, what we're going to see on WWE TV. But so far, this has been a really, really good storyline.
It's so fresh to see all these
It
new
is, yeah.
Samoans, and they're giving them all a chance and creating new opportunities.
Yeah.
This
that
is money.
I'm glad that they're not doing it like the NWO where they're branching everything off, Go ahead, Max.
Let's answer the question right now. Dizzy, who do you acknowledge? OTC or Solo?
Oh, OTC, you know it, man.
J-Bone?
Do Baron first.
Baron?
OTC. I mean, how could you not? How could you not? I'm just glad that we could finally, when we talked about Roman ages ago, I remember Dizzy didn't like him.
Yeah.
I remember I had my problems with him, but it's cool to see him. He's the biggest fucking guy in wrestling. There's nobody else even remotely close to him when it comes to pop or reaction or fan base. I would say. So it's awesome to see.
This bloodline thing really pushed Roman for me.
Yeah. I mean, he's always been that good. And now it's not just like his mic or his in-ring work. It's the aura. You know what I'm saying? It's what he has. There's not many people that can do that. It's fun to watch. It's been fun to watch for me for the bloodline. It's been my favorite thing going for a while now.
I think some of the best things on TV were Jimmy's reactions to Roman after Jay was gone, because Jimmy's like, oh yeah, you know what? I'll just go do that right now, And all right, J-Bone, back to you.
I love that Roman is back. I'm glad he's healthy, but man, let me tell you, this new blood, this whatever you want to call it, new bloodline, the Solo bloodline, whatever you want to call it, man. I'm so down with it. I mean, are they going to get their coming up in someday? Yeah, probably. But for now, I'm loving this. I'm loving seeing Jacob Fatu in this. I'm loving seeing Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga together on this stage. Are you now? Okay, there's been a couple hiccups. People are exaggerating. It's would you just shut the hell up and enjoy it? It's wrestling, for God's sakes. Oh, somebody tripped going in the ring. Let's see you, on your debut night, not do something stupid in the ring. Shut the hell up.
So you're saying that you acknowledge Solo Sikoa?
I acknowledge Solo Sikoa.
Okay.
I think he acknowledges Jacob Fatu. I think that is. I think he's the guy. Now we've been talking about him for a little bit, but I'm pretty sure he's the guy, the leader of that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's. Give it a couple years, and he's like.
Well, he's something special, but they're not they're. It's breadcrumbs. You can't put them up here that quick. They are featuring his talents. Look what he's doing. He wiped out the freaking OTC. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm going to be honest, okay? I'm really enjoying what Solo and Jacob and Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa and that group is doing. But there is only one tribal chief. There is only one man that I will acknowledge as tribal chief, and that is the man that the wise man follows. That is Roman Reigns.
Yep. Right there.
And that brings us to you, chat. What do you think?
And that's that I'm glad that you segued into that, because we have the question of the day. This is question number 1 for the question of the day, and this involves CM Punk addressing potentially facing Steve Austin at WrestleMania 41. It's already generating a lot of buzz as the company confirmed that the event will take place in Las Vegas at Allegiant Stadium on April 9th and April 20th of next year. And adding to the excitement, Hall of Famer Stone Cold Steve Austin has hinted at possibly making an appearance at the event, fueling speculation about a dream match between he and CM Punk. Austin's shocking return to in-ring action happened at WrestleMania 38, where he faced Kevin Owens and reignited fan interest in seeing the Texas Rattlesnake compete again. And since that match, Austin has stayed away from the ring, but he's always hinted that WrestleMania 41 could mark another return. A possibility of a match between Punk and Stone Cold Steve Austin especially is enticing for fans and me too, because I'm a fan of Stone Cold. And it's been a dream match for over a decade. Now, during an appearance at Fanatics Fest in, I believe it was New York, CM Punk addressed the potential showdown with Austin. Punk made it clear that while he is ready for the challenge, the decision ultimately lies with Austin. Here's what Punk said, quote, "That would be up to Steve. It's not up to me, because I think he had a pretty good return. Main evented WrestleMania. At this point, his six shooters might be buried in the desert, but if he wants to dig them up, I'm your Huckleberry. If it should happen 10 plus years ago, it should have happened 10 plus years ago. If he wants to go to sleep, he can call me," end quote. Now, this is the question of the day.
Oh.
Do you want to see CM Punk and Steve Austin at WrestleMania 41? And I'm going to start with the Baron, because he and I are big Attitude Era fans. I know he was always over for Texas Rattlesnake. So, Baron, is this a dream match that you've been wanting to see?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. 10, 15 years ago, I would love to have seen it. At this point, I would rather see like a CM Punk Stone Cold like mic off type of ordeal. Could he come back and do something like he did with Kevin Owens, like an interview type of deal and little fight? Yeah, I would like to. I don't want to see him have a match because I just don't think it would be great. But I think them two interacting together would be the biggest thing out of it. The mic work between them, because they're two of the best.
Yeah, absolutely. And we want to know your thoughts too. Listeners, please comment and tell us, do you want to see CM Punk in WrestleMania and Steve Austin at WrestleMania 41? Max, what are your thoughts, man?
It's not like we haven't seen Stone Cold recently. I mean, Kevin Owens was crying because of it. So we know that Stone Cold could probably hold his own in there. But is this really the best thing to do? I don't know. If you've got everybody supporting it, Triple H, Stone Cold, CM Punk, all right, do it early on night one, because as much as it could be a fun match, Baron's right. They're kind of out of their prime at this point, and it really could bring the whole mood of the showdown if they don't.
Yeah. I mean, you also have to think about his neck, his issues with his neck, which is the real reason why he stepped away from professional wrestling. You have to think about that. You know, who's a safe worker? Is Punk going to be a safe worker? I think so. I think Punk will take care of him in the ring. But it's up to Steve. It really is. It's his option. If he wants to do it, we welcome him to WrestleMania 41. If he doesn't and he just wants to shoot, do a bunch of promos, that's fine with me. I like a good old Steve Austin promo every once in a while. But do you think it would be smart for his like thinking about his neck?
I am. I'm thinking about
his neck, I'm looking at this and everything.
I'm looking at this in terms of what is CM Punk known for in the ring. Doesn't matter whether he's safe or not. What is his go-to maneuver?
Go to sleep.
Yeah, GTS. Yeah,
it's a knee to the face. If you hit him in the face, you're going to affect the neck. Look, could it be a fun match? Yeah, I think it could be a fun match, but I don't think this is what we need to do. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, it would be marquee. It would be a draw. I mean, like, it would be great. It would be what WrestleMania is. We just don't need a full blown match or anything along those lines, I think.
Yeah.
If we do agree to this, that means we know what two of Punk's opponents are next year. So,
yeah.
Because he's already announced he wants one of John Cena's last matches.
He has. Yeah. J-Bone, are you excited for a possible CM Punk and Stone Cold Steve Austin match at WrestleMania 41?
Dude, I tell you what, man, I still remember back, and I think it was promotion for like WWE 2012 or whatever they called it, the wrestling game, and those two had a sit-down interview, tense as hell, with good old JR. And I remember those two just staring holes into each other. Like, man, JR looked so uncomfortable looking back and forth at these two. Like, just remember, I'm not the youngest guy I used to be. If you guys are gonna start some shit, let me get the hell out of your way first. It's the look he had on his face. I love it. I'm gonna go on the selfish side and like dude, just we still have to pinch ourselves once in a while. That remember that KO and Austin had a banger together. It was so much fun. I don't remember how long it was, but damn, it was fun.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was really good. I don't remember what year that was.
That was last year, wasn't it? Or 2 years ago? No, 2 years ago.
Two or 3 years ago. Let me see.
2 years ago, because last year was
38.
Sammy and KO won the tag titles in the main event on night one.
Yeah.
I just always feel bad for Stone Cold when I see him anymore because he's always got those big ass knee braces on, and I'm just like.
Yeah, no. I know, but I mean, as long as he's, I mean, God, he still looks like $1 million.
Yeah, he looks like Stone Cold. Yeah,
Stone Cold is representing now what Terry Funk did for so long. Like even going back to like the ECW days, like even back then, people are like, "Oh my God, he's still doing this," But
I mean, it was a 13-minute, 55-second match.
Well, thank you for looking that up.
You're welcome.
But yeah, and and we don't need anything more than that. 15 minutes or less. That's gold.
Yeah.
And you can tell a quick story. You cut some promos leading up to it. That's going to be gold. Hell yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I'm going to go on the selfish side, and
I want to see it. I think it's overdue. Honestly, I think we need it. And like J Bone said, it doesn't have to be like super long. It doesn't have to be like an hour-long match. It can be it could even be a mid-card match. It could be a filler match. We got to have time. Let's send Austin and Punk out and do their match.
It doesn't even need a stipulation, for God's sake. It doesn't have to go nuts.
Bury the hatchet. I mean, it could be like a bury the hatchet match. Who's better? Who's really better? And it
you gotta. Well, if you're gonna bury hatchets, then you gotta involve Triple H, because he'll come out with the hatchet and be like, "Here's your hatchet."
He brings a sledgehammer.
Yeah, he'll bring the sledgehammer. Yeah.
Well, shovel, sledgehammer. He's brought it all. So.
Oh, I hear something.
What the hell was that?
I don't know what the hell that was.
I think it was my phone going off there.
They don't get us any copyrights. All right, let's move on to some AEW news. And this is Baron's 999 moment. And this involves the WWE as they schedule a live event against AEW's World's End in the same city. All right, here we go, Baron. AEW has come very far in the past 5 years since their humble beginnings, and as many consider AEW proper competition for WWE. In fact, WWE will be holding a special live the same day and the same city as the AEW pay-per-view on August 16th of this year. SmackDown was held at the Kia Center in Florida. Of course, it was yesterday. During the event, WWE announced that they would be returning to the venue for a holiday live event on Saturday, December 28th. Interestingly enough, World's End will also take place in Orlando at the Edition Financial Arena, scheduled for the same time as the holiday event for WWE. Now, tickets for World's End initially announced for Orlando on April 11th. They haven't been released yet, so it's not known whether WWE is deliberately holding the live event on the same day as AEW's World's End on December 28th, but this simply means that Tony Khan will need to ensure that he has a good enough card for the pay-per-view to compete with WWE. Therefore, we'll have to see how both events fare against each other. But Baron, let's be honest here. We know that since the reign of Vince McMahon, WWE has sought out to compete with any company standing in its way. But since the company has not seen AEW as a threat, do you see this being a chess game between the two? Because in the long run, this could really, really hurt AEW.
Oh, fuck. You know who knows? Like, who fucking knows, bro? Are they trying to go head to head, or like, are they stepping on toes, or was it we're just so happened to be in that area during that period of time? It doesn't matter because one show is far superior than the other, and I don't give a shit what anybody ever says. It's not even remotely close, but maybe it does spice some things up for AEW. Maybe we get some good matches for that show. But in result,
What city is this in again?
They're in. Let me go back to the story. They're in Orlando.
Yeah, I mean Orlando, Florida. I mean, like they're going to run into each other quite often. This is the NXT's down there. A lot of big shows happen for WWE down there. I mean,
AEW is from Jacksonville.
Exactly. So they're going to run into each other eventually, especially with WWE moving their shows to Saturday. I assume this has to be a Saturday show, right?
Yeah, yes, Saturday, December 28th.
So one's a pay-per-view and one's just a house show, or
like a holiday show. So it's probably going to be a house show. It's probably going to be like a No Mercy type of ordeal, I would assume, maybe.
But it's a live event. But I don't know if they're going to go on TV with it, or if they're just if it's going to be like just a dark match or whatever the case may be.
I bet you it's probably going to be like a little house show, like one of their live events, house shows, which I'm pretty sure they've ran into each other multiple times throughout the year, in areas. WWE is somewhere every single weekend.
Yeah.
But to all those marks out there that think this is Triple H trying to go face to face against AEW. I don't truly think anybody in WWE truly gives a shit.
Well, I mean, like you said, there's a lot of people talking that WWE or Triple H is deliberately trying to get at Tony Khan, and even Tony Khan believes that Triple H is trying to get at Tony Khan and AEW, which is why I brought this story up. Because is it ironic? Is it just by coincidence? Is this going to hurt AEW? I don't know.
And this show will be in April?
This show is in December.
Oh, right after Christmas.
Okay. Right after Christmas. Yep.
So okay. So, it'll be interesting because we still don't know about AEW's TV deal or anything along those lines. So there's a lot that could be played out during that period.
And I don't know what times these live events are going to go on for WWE. It could be a different time. It could be an hour before AEW starts their pay-per-view. I don't know the details of that per se, but it's just interesting that with everything that we've seen in the news as far as what Tony Khan has said about Triple H or about WWE sabotaging his company, it's interesting that WWE would go and do this, have a host a live event same day that a big, and this is a pretty big pay-per-view for AEW.
If it's a house show, usually the house shows go on a little earlier in the day on the weekends, as far as I know. Like TV tapings are always, 7 p.m. ish. So 7 p.m., 8 p.m., depending,
Right.
But yeah, are they going to overlap? Yeah. Are they going to have identical times? I doubt it.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I think it's if it's a house show, no one's going to give a crap. If it's like a pay-per-view, yeah, then it's going to be a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, we'll have to see what happens. And when more details come out about this, we'll definitely pass it along. But I just thought that was kind of interesting that, Tony Khan is like, okay, is it for real? Is it,
He's probably panicking right now. It's just,
well, he probably is. Honestly, he probably is. I mean, I would be. Yes, he has that look.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. He's got that look on his face like, shit, they're coming for me. I need to
maybe by that time Shane will be with TK. Who knows?
You never know. By that
big
time,
announcements coming up soon, right? I mean, they keep teasing this. He keeps saying it.
Oh, lots of them.
Yeah.
And here's another thing to consider. A lot of times when you book a venue, you have to book it months in advance. Just because they didn't announce it until 12 hours ago doesn't mean they didn't have that arena already booked for a WWE house show months ago. And at the time when they booked it, maybe they didn't know that was where World's End was going to be. I'm not saying that it's 100% this is how it went. I'm just saying it's a possibility.
Yeah. But I mean, we'll have to keep an eye on this and definitely let you know if any news pops up about it or big news pops up about it. We'll definitely let you know. But that is Baron's 999 moment. Of course, anything that is talked about on this show, please comment your thoughts. Do you think that it would hurt AEW to have a live show or a live event from WWE in the same town on the same night? Here's another question of the day for our wonderful listeners, and this involves Beth Phoenix. All right, now, as we stated on the show before, rumors were swirling of Beth Phoenix possibly jumping ship to AEW. Her last match with WWE was at Elimination Chamber last year, where she and Edge defeated Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley. Now, her contract with the WWE came to an end when she was not offered either a deal or a Legends contract. So with her departure from WWE, there is now speculation that she could join AEW. Now, Booker T on his podcast spoke of this situation, and he noted that she could easily join her husband, stating that it would only take one phone call from Copeland to make it happen. Now, Britt Baker made it clear that she wants to see Beth Phoenix in the company, as well as Phoenix also addressing her in-ring future following her WWE exit. Therefore, it remains to be seen whether Phoenix will make her way to AEW this year or not. So, listeners, we want to know from you. Do you think that Beth Phoenix is going to AEW? I personally think so. And if so, do you think that the company needs her to gain the star power that they're lacking? Because let's be honest, the only two stars that they have right now are Swerve Strickland and MJF. I'm going to start with J-Bone on this. Do you think that Beth Phoenix going to AEW will help them gain star power? Is this going to be a pay-per-view buy? Is this going to put money in their pockets?
Yeah, I think it's definitely money that they're leaving on the table. If she doesn't, I think she could do a lot with them. And there's a lot of new faces there's faces that have been there since day one. But I tell you what, I would love to see a Nyla Rose Beth Phoenix match. I think that is money. I think Nyla Rose, being with the company that long, you deserve to reward ladies on the roster like that. You know, with stuff, with special matches, special opportunities. And I think that'd be a great match.
I think if you tell the story right, as long as they tell the story right, which is the problem that we've been seeing with AEW in the past, if you can tell the story right, then yeah, it can be a big moneymaker between Nyla Rose and Beth Phoenix. But if you don't push it right, if you don't tell the story in the right way, as we've seen the company do, then it just falls to shit,
I hear you. Some you definitely need, a little more oomph than others. Like, okay, why are we gonna get excited about this? But this one, honestly, I don't think needs a lot. I mean, you got two strong women in the ring that could both really stand up for themselves, and you don't need a ton more than that. You put those two face to face, I think people are gonna they're gonna salute that, honestly.
Max, it's kind of interesting that this this comes up, that Beth Phoenix possibly jumping ship to AEW to join Edge, her husband. We knew that this was going to happen. We knew that this was possibly going to come to fruition. But do you think that AEW needs Beth Phoenix to gain that star power that they're lacking? Do you think that she'll bring it?
I love Beth, but I don't think she's the one they need. They need something. Ticket sales are dropping. Ratings are getting worse. They need something. And I just don't think Beth is that something. She's good. She's very talented. She could elevate the women's division. She's just not that star. Although I don't think she needs AEW. I think she should avoid it. They're oversaturated right now with talent. And this is part of their problem. Khan signs everybody and then hardly lets anybody go. What you need is we've seen Jade Cargill left. We've seen one or two others, but how many people have been signed since the beginning and how many are still with the company? You need to reduce your roster, and you need to find that guy with the it factor that screams AEW, that female with the it factor that screams AEW, and build them. Build your company around them. Stop trying to make this WWE 2.0. Okay, that's your biggest problem. And as much as I love Beth Phoenix, and I think it'd be a lot of fun to have her working with her husband, that's not going to save AEW. And what you need to be looking for right now is who's going to save AEW.
And you know what pisses me off with Tony?
I hear you there.
Yeah, I mean, what pisses me off with Tony is that he thought Mercedes Moné was going to be the saving grace to AEW. And Baron, we've seen that she is definitely not the saving grace as Tony Khan had hoped she would be. So is it Beth Phoenix's time to come into the company to save this ship from sinking, or is it just wasted money? Is Beth Phoenix not what they need? Do they need someone else younger, somebody that can really put the company on their back for the women's division, like MJF did for the men's division, and take this company into new heights?
I'm gonna be a realist here for everyone.
Okay, be real.
If Adam Copeland didn't draw anybody in, neither is Beth Phoenix. So let's be real on that end, because he really truly did. And his run for me was cool to watch, just seeing that he was having fun. but it didn't mean anything on the outside scope. I mean, I think Beth Phoenix in AEW would be great, but when you're asking in that question, would it be a draw? No. But I think her being there and having, kind of like J-Bone was saying, having some marquee matchups would be great to watch. I'd watch them. Will it pull in a lot of people? Probably not. But also to piggyback what Max was saying, I think their roster is a little oversaturated. Actually, very oversaturated. Especially with the amount of time that each person has on that show. So I think maybe like Beth Phoenix being there, it would be good. Sign her. Yeah. There could be so much more she can do than have to have a wrestling match. Mm-hmm. You know, so much stuff, you know, she backstage, a match producer, anything along those lines she could do. She's great at it. She did it in NXT.
Storyline writer, because that's what they do.
Yeah, anything, you know. But would it be a massive draw? Let's be real. No. Yeah.
Well, and that leads us to the listeners. Listeners, do you think Beth Phoenix should join AEW? Do you think she'd be a draw? Let us know in the comments below, and you might see your comment put up on the screen here. Let's move on to
real quick. I'm going to be honest. I've booked before for RMCW, and I'm going to tell you right now, I don't want the job of trying to fix AEW. You know, they need someone to write their storylines, and I don't. That's you're
Max,
too
put your application in there. Get in there.
Yo, Max,
fix it up. Get some shit going, man.
And if you need references, you got 3 guys here that you can put down.
Man. Put my phone number down. I got you.
We got you, bro. We got you, bro. And I'm glad Max said something, because it is time to move on to the desk of Max Magus. And this concerns the Young Bucks. As we all know, they're the current AEW Tag Team Champions and remain as controversial as ever. In fact, some believe that their presence has hurt AEW. And they were also criticized for being a drag on AEW's ratings. Recently, it was reported that the Young Bucks rarely appear on TV, and they haven't defended their titles due to having limited dates. It was also further added that they actually work under part-time schedules in AEW. Now remember, these are the same guys who aired the backstage arguments between CM Punk and Jack Perry. Now, while speaking on his YouTube channel, Jim Cornette addressed the Young Bucks having limited dates as part of their contracts. Cornette criticized the Bucks, stating that their presence of the show is diminished in value and actually hurts the overall product. He believes the wrestling public isn't accepting them because their matches are repetitive and their characters lack authenticity. He also pointed out that the Bucks are making a significant amount of money working limited dates, often doing backstage segments that are pre-taped, and emphasizing that despite being EVPs in AEW, they seem to be taking advantage of their position without fully committing to the responsibilities that come with it. Cornette also mentioned that Tony Khan was afraid that the Bucks might leave for the WWE, but he thinks Khan should have let them go, believing their departure would improve the ratings. So, Max, do you think that Jim makes a good point? Are the Bucks the thorn in the side of AEW?
I cannot believe that I'm going to even partly agree with Corny, who is out of touch on modern wrestling, but I am going to agree with him. Now, here's the thing. I have never been a fan of the Bucks. Not even back when they were Generation Me. There was this match that I watched years ago. I went looking for it today, and then I went to Mr. TNA. The only thing he could think of was maybe it was against the Motor City Machine Guns. I couldn't find the match to confirm who it was against and when. But basically, here's what happened. Late in the match, the Bucks super kicked their opponents. Their opponents went down, kicked immediately back up, super kicked the Bucks. The Bucks went down, kicked immediately back up, super kicked their opponents. This was back when they were still Generation Me, and I really hoped that kind of thinking in your match would have worn its way out. But they're still all about that high spot and that overdoing the high spot for the thrill. And you got to have high spots, but you got to mix it up. You can't just super kick back and forth, because then you're destroying the illusion of this business. If I take a super kick to the face, I'm not standing right back up, and it's not because I'm a fat guy. It's because I just took a boot to the face. All right.
I mean, you want to sell it.
Yeah, I'm going to sell it. When it was all of the elite, when you had Omega and Cody and the Bucks, and I guess even Hangman back then in the beginning, they actually had a defined role, it seemed. And it seemed like, they were a little tamer, a little calmer. But now that they're out on their own again and it's just them left, I mean, Paige is around, but he doesn't have the authority like he did back in the beginning. Right now, it's just the Bucks are the power. They've gone off their rockers again, as far as I'm concerned. They are bringing the show down. They don't have that balance with the other EVPs. Now it's just them, and they're just doing whatever they feel like doing for fun. Now, listen, I understand that there's a storyline being written by somebody somewhere. Maybe it's them. Maybe it's Khan that's got what you're seeing on TV, but that still has them doing power moves somewhere, because they're being elevated in that story like they are the gods of this company. They are bringing ratings down, as are other aspects of the stories. And until you can clean that mess up and cut out the WWE copying, this is just going to continue to get worse. The Bucks need to be brought back to heel. They need to be brought back to earth, and maybe even taken off TV for a while without the titles with them. Put the titles on somebody else. Give the Bucks a 6-month vacation. See what happens.
Put the titles on the Acclaimed. I love the Acclaimed. I really think that they're over with the fans. I really think that they are a huge hit every time they come out. Leave Max Caster. He doesn't need to have a microphone. He doesn't need to do a stupid freestyle. I understand that's his character or whatever. He doesn't need to do that. What he does need to do is he needs to focus on being in a tag team, in a trios match, or a trio, whatever it is, whatever they call themselves. I don't know. I don't think Daddy Ass is doing anything much anymore with the Acclaimed, as far
he's
as
still out there with them.
He still goes out there with them, but I think he's more of like a manager than he is a wrestler.
Yeah.
Because he kind of retired from that. But if you leave Max Caster, if you take him off the microphone and you put the belts on the Ascension, or the Acclaimed rather, I think that would be good. I think the Bucks need time off. I think they need to step away from the product for a while.
Yeah.
They need a good old beatdown, and this would be a good time to do it, because they're building their storyline. It's the Bucks and the Acclaimed. Every time the Acclaimed comes out, the Bucks cut their mic off on Dynamite or wherever they are. So I think this would be a good time for them to drop the belts, put them on the Acclaimed. The EVPs go away for a while. We don't hear from them. And this whole Jack Perry thing, he can be left, and even the Rainmaker, they can be left to their own devices. But take the Bucks off of TV. I agree with Max. I agree with Cornette. I think that the Bucks are not helping AEW at all. I think freshen them up. Yeah, let them figure out, okay, this is what's wrong with us. Let's fix this.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
But again, listeners, what do you think? Do you think the Bucks are hurting AEW? Do you think that they need to be taken off TV for a while? Drop the titles. Let us know in the chat, in the comments, wherever you're watching us. If you're watching us on Twitch or YouTube, please let us know and what you think. You might see your comment pop up. Let's move on to some TNA news. Yeah, go ahead, Jay.
Before we jump into TNA, I gotta address this. So this is like a visual I had to find, and I'm going to share this with you guys. So Bell's Boy's giving us some Triple Mania updates here. It says JBL is with Nick Nemeth. I can't get over that right now. So this is at They're doing the main event right now. Here's a visual. That is Nick Nemeth coming down to the ring with JBL at Triple Mania in Mexico. Is that just wild or what? I can't even. It's unbelievable.
That's crazy.
I didn't even know JBL was allowed in Mexico.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, what's behind that? Why?
I don't. Do you remember that storyline? As controversial as it was, JBL was all about like the border stuff, and this is like all like pre. Oh, I shouldn't say the word. I don't want to upset Dizzy, but you know.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. I know what you're saying.
Politics, yeah. Pre-political. Political.
Okay, so I guess that's what they're doing here. Okay.
If they're trying to put over Rio as a baby face, I think that's how you would do it. If you want to throw the big time American heel, I mean, it's not Jeff Jarrett throwing out tortillas for God's sakes. Although I did see a clip that he was there. Apparently, he's got some of his boys that are now the new tag team champions. But hey, it's something fresh down there. AAA is getting a lot of former WWE guys, and I say, yeah, spread them around, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's okay. Continue. I just had to share that. That's wild.
No, it's great news. I love that, and you know that opens up the door for these companies to work with other promotions, and you know, since Trips has taken the reins at WWE, I love the fact that he is so open to letting his guys go and do other things, and not the big boys, not like a Roman Reigns or anything like that, but he lets the legends go and promote a company or push a company that Trips believes in, you know, and that's awesome. I love to see that. And this is what I'm telling you, this is what this industry has needed for so long, and we haven't seen it because of Vince McMahon. And I am so happy that I will say this until I'm blue in the face, but I am so happy that Triple H is in control of WWE. The product is just soared, and this whole TNA and NXT thing, which we'll get into, this partnership, fan fucking tastic. I love it. Let's move on to some TNA news. Slammiversary is in the news, man. After they put Slammiversary, it was quite a show. Now with the final numbers in, it's clear that TNA Wrestling is making the right moves in the right direction. The update on Slammiversary's pay-per-view numbers is, J-Bone, get ready for this.
Okay.
6,500 buys on television.
Say that again.
6,500 buys on television with an estimated total of about 21,000.
Oh, okay.
Would rank among TNA's biggest numbers since the Spike TV days. And the company has undergone many changes, as we've seen since its inception. Started as TNA Wrestling, rebranded as Impact, briefly became Global Force Wrestling, and then returned to Impact Wrestling. Now they've come full circle, reestablishing themselves as TNA, adding another chapter to the company's unpredictable history. Now, currently, WWE's NXT brand and TNA have done a very good, productive partnership with talent exchanging places. And Triple H has discussed their goals with this deal, and it seems both sides are benefiting from the extra exposure, which is a win-win for everybody involved, especially TNA, because, you know, let's be honest, with all this, the whole back and forth between what leadership did with TNA. Yeah. It started off as a fantastic company. You had a lot of heavy hitters. I mean, Scott Steiner was in TNA, just a bunch of big names. Ric Flair was in TNA for a long time.
Nash.
It was a force to be reckoned with. I mean, they were legitimately good competition for WWF or WWE.
The
And
greatest promo ever came out of TNA, thanks to Scott Steiner.
yeah,
Steiner
yeah.
math,
Oh
yeah.
my God, the math. Jesus Christ. But that's what I'm talking about, man. The
Yeah.
company has so much history behind it. And
Yeah.
with the leadership changes, we saw it change, and we saw it, we saw the highs and the lows of TNA. Now TNA is really rebuilding themselves and making themselves into the premier brand that they needed to be in, regardless of a Dixie Carter era or a Hulk Hogan era or anything like that. I am so happy that TNA is making the right moves in the right direction. J-Bone, do you think that, and I'm going to I have to bring up Scott D'Amore. I have to, because
He paved the way this last between 5 to 7 years.
he saved the company.
Yeah, he worked. He and his crew worked hard to put on some of the best wrestling storylines, shows. Talent, always seeking for new, fresh talent in the ring. So many that have gone on to bigger and better things, so I've said for years, TNA has always been able to make stars. Because that's the business, but they're moving. Yeah.
Look at Joe Hendry.
The Joe Hendry thing, part of me doesn't get it because I'm not a TikTok guy, but I get the whole going viral thing. I get it.
Yeah.
Because when I first started seeing Joe Hendry, I'm like, okay, just bringing over some European talent. I dig it. I thought he was kind of just average, but man, the guy is red hot or white hot right now. Just however you want to say it. He's on fire. So I'm I'm excited for it.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about how you push yourself, and it's all about having a company that pushes you,
Yeah.
And it really is. I mean, if a company sees that you have star power, they're going to put money behind you. They're going to put everything that they can behind you and make you that star. Okay, let's see what you got, which is good. I mean, I'm glad that the company is believing in Joe Hendry, no pun intended, but I'm glad the TNA is saying, okay, Joe, let's see what you can do. Because every time he comes out, whether it's on TNA TV or NXT TV, he is over. The guy is over. And this is the beautiful thing about the TNA and NXT partnership is you can literally jump from brand to brand. And guess what? TNA viewers are going to watch NXT and vice versa. And it's great. And Shawn Michaels, and the next story that we have involves Shawn Michaels saying that, he's very high on this. I mean, we've even seen it with Jordynne Grace, her appearance on NXT TV. It led to increased crossovers between this whole TNA and WWE partnership with NXT.
Yeah.
A lot of crossovers with stars from both companies appearing on each other's shows. In fact, Shawn Michaels believes a partnership between the two companies is just in the beginning stages. The partnership between the two companies continues to make headlines for very, very good reasons, and both promotions are frequently swapping talent, like Tatum Paxley, the Rascals, No Catch Quarter Crew, and a lot more have made appearances for each other's companies. Shawn Michaels talked recently in an interview about the NXT and TNA partnership. He said, still in the early stages, but he finds it very interesting. He's excited that the WWE is open to working together, which could lead to a lot of new opportunities. Some people could be pushed right up to the main card if they stick it out in NXT. And Michaels even mentioned that others in the company would decide the details, but he's happy about the chance to have many talented wrestlers to work with and he thinks that this partnership could lead to some amazing matches that fans will love. Now, Baron, I know that you are a Shawn Michaels guy. Do you agree with him?
I agree with whatever he says. Yeah, Shawn Michaels great. Yeah, Shawn. Yeah, man, he's tearing it up. He's enjoying what he's doing in NXT. You know, it's fun to see like Triple H and Shawn kind of at the top of everything, and that is awesome because he clearly has helped with this crossover. You know, so kudos to him. Kudos to everybody that's back there. Yeah, it's fun to watch.
One of the guys that I know believes in Joe Hendry, I think more than any of us, is Max Magus. And I know that you indeed have been enjoying this whole partnership between NXT and TNA.
I love this. I think, number one, I see a model for the future for companies to work together with wrestlers, especially ones like Joe Hendry that are over. It's not just about how big of a fan of Joe Hendry I am. It's about looking to the future of the business. For years, I've sat here and watched all the local independents in individual states not work together. Now you're talking about two major companies that have always been standoffish about working with each other that have a direct deal in place for a guy like Joe Hendry. I mean, they worked out a deal between both companies and said, you know what, we like this guy so much, why don't we work together? And now he's free to go to either company at any time right now. It's an amazing thing. And I think the future of the wrestling business, you're going to see them going from place to place again, but not it's not going to be like the old territory days where this booker calls up this one and says, hey, I need this kind of stuff. You got that? So I got this that I'm willing to trade you. But you're going to see a little more freedom of movement when we get into the future. Joe Hendry has opened that door, and I don't see it ever closing again. I see that door becoming a floodgate.
You know, I'm glad you said that because I was just getting ready to say when one door closes, another door opens. And I've always been a big believer of that. And what I mean is when TKO pushed Vince McMahon completely out of WWE, boy, that opened the floodgates of possibilities because when Triple H took over, he believed that this is what wrestling fans need, and this is what they want. This is what we've been screaming to Vince McMahon for a long time. And J-Bone, I know, as the host of TNI on YouTube, you are just ecstatic about this partnership because you not only do you get to talk about the same people on TNA, their current roster, but it also makes it fun to watch not only the product but your show, because if somebody from NXT like makes a surprise appearance that nobody knows about, that's like, holy shit, what are they doing there? It's just exciting to watch, man.
Yeah, just a couple quick examples of what's happening this coming week, and then like the week after that, I believe, or in the coming weeks. That this coming Tuesday on NXT, which me and Bill on TNI Tuesdays are going to be probably talking about this. Something new that we started doing on Tuesdays. Excuse me, but this is a match I got showing here. This is going to be probably the headliner for Tuesday. You got Joe Hendry from TNA versus Wes Lee versus Pete Dunne. Winner faces Ethan Page at No Mercy for the NXT Championship. So this is going to be, you got three different styles here. It's going to be a banger. And then you've got some Ultimate X qualifiers for the TNA Emergence show that's coming up.
Yeah.
At the end of the month, August 30th.
Yeah. And that card is getting stacked, right?
Yeah, it's getting there. It's been a slow build. You got a couple weeks to go, but it's going to be fun because the headliner is nothing to sneeze at. It's a Iron Man match, 1 hour Iron Man match between Nick Nemeth and Josh Alexander. Shut up and take my money. Because they just had a half an hour banger on TV this past Thursday.
Did. Yes, they did.
But this Ultimate X match that's returning at Emergence, the qualifiers so far are Zach Wentz, Mike Bailey, who will be defending his NXT championship, Jason Hotch, who won out of nowhere, which is very refreshing to see, and NXT's Riley Osborne from Chase U also qualified. So that right there, you got some fresh faces, one from another company, even in there.
Did I see Chase U just won the tag titles on NXT?
Yeah, they won those. Yeah.
So I mean, the possibilities are just endless for this cross promotion,
and they're doing it with bread. Like so many people want their stuff spoon fed. Like, oh, we want this match, we want this match, and that's great. That's great to want it. Put it out there, let them hear it, so that they know this is what you want to see. That they're doing something right. Like, yeah, keep it going. We want this as a possibility. But they're going to give us. They're going to do it in breadcrumbs. They're going to leave a breadcrumb trail. Just like piece of candy. Oh, piece of candy. Oh, piece of candy. It's
like James Woods on Family Guy.
They're not going to dump the whole bag on the porch like, here you go. No, just, give us little bits here and there. That's all we need. You do it all at once, then then the people are going to go, oh, no, too much.
Yeah, I agree with that. Turning the bag over and just dumping everything out, that's a Tony Khan move. But when it comes to Triple H and when it comes to the heads at TNA and Shawn Michaels even, if you just leave bits and pieces of the story here and there, people are going to go around and collect it. And it's like a scavenger hunt. People are going to go around and collect the rest of the story. And as more evolves, then that's what's going to build interest in your storyline. And Tony Khan, you need to take notes, man. That's why you hired all these big time people to be on your storyboard team.
Let them help.
Stop trying to write TV when you have no fucking idea what you're doing. And I even hated to bring that up into TNA news, but Jesus Christ, it's like it's never ending with Tony Khan. It really is. It's never ending.
Right.
But and it's such refreshing. It's so refreshing to see that the doors are opening in the world of professional wrestling, that companies can work together and may not have like a big partnership with TNA or NXT like that. But at least if you open the door, and I think I will give this to Tony Khan too. Tony's brand, AEW, working with CMLL and Ring of Honor and all that. It's good. It's really good. And I give him props for doing that, because that's part of the evolution of the new style, the new era of professional wrestling, an era without Vince McMahon. And it's really cool to see that other promotions can work together, including AEW and WWE, TNA, and all that. Yeah. So it's just I'm excited for it. I'm here for it. I know you're here for it. I know that these guys are here for it. So I have one more piece of news, and this is going to rattle some cages. And when I say rattle some cages, I typically mean Max. Joe Hendry has the entire pro wrestling world speaking his name, and they never know where he will come up next. Is he going to be on NXT, maybe WWE one day? You never know. He is also quite talented at writing catchy songs, get stuck in your head, which has helped him get to the stardom that he's got right now, and that's why he's so hot. But MJF from AEW has seen Hendry's act and believes that MJF is better than Joe Hendry. Before becoming a generational talent in wrestling, MJF impressed audiences on the Rosie O'Donnell show with his singing ability, and he's not a bad singer, honestly. And he still proclaims that she never paid him for being on the show. In the wrestling world, MJF has performed numerous musical numbers, both live and taped. Speaking to Cultaholic, MJF was asked if he's the best singer in wrestling, and he said, quote, hands down. When Joe Hendry was brought up, MJF replied, quote, Joe Hendry, sweet kid, I would murder him, end quote. Interestingly enough, Chris Jericho was also mentioned. MJF said, quote, Fozzy is incredibly produced. They do a great job, end quote. And when asked once again if he's the best vocalist, MJF said, yeah, 1,000%. Also, I beat Chris Jericho. I tapped him out with the Salt of the Earth armbar. The sounds he made in that moment to me were angelic, end quote. Max. As one guy who is so believing in Joe Hendry, how do you respond to that?
First off, I heard MJF sing way back when Rosie didn't pay him. He was all right. I haven't heard him sing since. So, tell you what. Let's have a sing-off.
Oh.
Okay? You say you're better than Joe Hendry? 2 words. Prove it.
Wow.
So, Joe Hendry could write a song, and MJF could write a song, and it could all be against each other. And Joe Hendry can go on TNA TV and sing a song. MJF could go on AEW TV, sing the song, and then they would go head to head in a song off, but not in the ring.
Just don't let the AEW stands in on the voting because they're going to vote.
Well, yeah, they're going to vote for their scumbag.
Listen,
You know,
I don't know.
make me the judge of the song off. I guarantee you, I'm going to be fair and unbiased.
our scumbag. Do you think that this would be interesting? Do you think that this would? Do you think that this would actually come to fruition?
No, I think it's a fucking stupid idea, and I don't want it to happen. No, dumb. I mean, that's all I got.
He's like screaming. He's like, I'm done.
That's all I got.
He's like, no, screw this.
Screw this shit. Yeah. Don't care actually at all. And I'm gonna be the bad guy in here, and I'm gonna just go out and say it. Unpopular opinion here, Max. I love you, but I don't believe in Joe Hendry. I simply do not.
Shots fired.
And I will go ahead and mute my mic, and I will stop it there.
Hold on, Baron. You sounded like me when I would always yell about Vince McMahon like 10 years ago. 10 years ago, you sounded just like me when I would always yell at Vince McMahon for doing something fucking stupid in WWE.
Throwing it back a little bit, you know.
Hey, man, I'm digging it. I'm here for it, man.
I'm here for Joe Hendry. I love what he's doing on that, between the two shows. But
all right, so Zach Bonifer saying that J-Bone knows who the real scumbag is. Who is the real scumbag, J-Bone?
Well, there's a couple different universes here. You know, I dabble in this universe with the Ramblers, and then I dabble in another universe with the TNI guys, and one of the OG TNI guys who is actually in witness protection right now is the OG scumbag, Kyle.
Okay, so do we need to have like a
scumbag off.
So that's almost as dumb as the fucking sing off between MJF and.
But no,
I'm pretty scummy. I keep it pretty PG here.
Yeah. Is it Baron? Is it Kyle? Is it MJF? Who's the real scumbag? Listeners,
or is it Alberto El Patron who apparently beat Nick Nemeth? I think Alberto El Patron takes the scumbag at least of the night.
I mean,
yeah, he's a piece of shit, and
yes, he is
multiple women like piece of shit. He can go fuck himself.
But let me tell you this: I want it to be known that if we are acknowledging the tribal chief of the bloodline as Roman Reigns, at least some of us here, I acknowledge the one and only true scumbag. And that's that guy down there.
It's been my gamer tag since like 2007. I don't know. I've always been like scumbag Jordan. That's been my game.
You're my scumbag, Baron.
I appreciate
you're
that.
My,
you
are so welcome.
You will always be the Ramblers scumbag. I can dabble in both universes and appreciate both. So I'm not gonna like knock either one. You've both done scummy things that we're both that I'm very proud of.
Max, is he still your scumbag?
I don't think so. I think Max is still upset about what I said earlier about Joe Hendry. And I apologize. I still love you, Max, but
listen, he will always be my favorite person on this show. I'm just a little hurt right now, and I'm going to need a minute.
It's a little butthurt. I get it. I gave you fair warning before I said it, Max. I knew it was going to upset you. But, got to be real sometimes, man.
You do. Sometimes you just have to pull the Band-Aid and just rip it off.
I got something I got to ask you guys.
Yeah.
Now you could say I'm being selfish, but I've noticed that Scumbag Jordan has his $9.99 moment. I've noticed that we get stuff from the wrestling desk from Max Magus, and I was just throwing it out there. Maybe J-Bone could have his own little thing, maybe.
Yeah, I know. The masses are. I get it. I know.
Okay, guys. Yeah.
All right. So this is what I'm going to give to you, J-Bone.
Okay.
I'm going to give you this assignment. You think of a good segment for you because you are the originator of J-Bone's Mucha Lucha when that promotion was still going on. So I want you to come up with a segment of your own, and then we can pitch it, maybe even live on the show, let the listeners decide.
Now you're putting me on the spot because I thought you were gonna give me something like right off the bat, like, yeah, what you got for tonight, and I was just gonna tell you guys, I just wanted to see what you're gonna say because I ain't got shit.
No, but I think you deserve your own segment on this show. So I want you to put your head you can even ask Mrs. J-Bone.
Up my ass?
Oh. Come up with a good segment and we'll make it happen, buddy. No problem. There you go.
Cool.
All right, that is going to wrap it up for the show. Another great show. Baron and I talked about this off the air. I'm rewatching Game of Thrones, and if you are not a Game of Thrones fan, or maybe if you are a Game of Thrones fan, if you've never seen the show, you ought to see it. You ought to watch it at least once through. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot to go through. You really have to pay attention to it. But my God, it was so well written. And I've been coming home from work tired, exhausted, pissed off, and I just put on Game of Thrones, and I'm fucking happy. I don't know, something about dragons make me fucking happy. I don't know, but
well, it takes about 5 seasons before you see a dragon in that show. Or I guess not 5.
No, it doesn't take you.
Is it
No,
the
it's
third?
about 2 seasons.
Season? Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's about 3, two or 3.
Yeah, it's about. Yeah, I think you're right, J Bone. But
the baby ones are at the end of 2. I think that's about as far as I got.
Yeah, the eggs hatch, and you look. It's a lot to dive into. You really have to pay attention to it, but I guarantee you, it's well worth the watch.
They murdered me. They murdered your boy. The last season killed it. It broke my heart. I don't know if I can repair my heart to go back to watch it after that. Great show. I loved it, but goddamn, that last season hurt.
I know.
I do have another Sopranos rewatch coming to me though.
I need to rewatch The Sopranos too, man. It's just so
Best
good.
show ever.
You know, my top shows that I've rewatched like over and over are The Sopranos and Sons of Anarchy. Those are my go-to shows that I watch over and over and over that I will never get tired of because they were so well written. And Game of Thrones is becoming one of those series that I can just watch over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah, it's a great show.
So Zach Bonifer actually has a suggestion for the Bone Man's segment. The Bone Man Manscaped News of the Week. I tell you what, Zach, if you go out and get us a sponsor from Manscaped, we'll make it happen. We will make it happen.
Yeah, because I mean, as much as I want to promote T&I's code on here, it'd be proper if we had.
Oh yeah, that's your thing. That's not us. Yeah. I think the segment should be the boner moment of the day.
The boner moment.
Something with a giant eggplant emoji on the screen.
Yes.
I love it. I'm digging it. I want you to come back something with me at us next week, and we can discuss it live on the show, and then we can leave it up to the listeners. Do you want this segment? Think about it. Think about it. You have a whole week to think about it.
I am going to reveal the eggplant.
I shall unveil the eggplant.
Is next week? Is that the pay-per-view?
Oh, which
is Bash at or what the hell is it for WWE?
It is.
Oh, Bash at Berlin.
Bash at Berlin, yes.
Well, that's gonna be during the day, so we might end up doing another Saturday night one.
Oh no, it's August 31st. That's not next week.
Okay, so it's back to back to
weeks.
Emergence. Oof, that's gonna be a rough weekend.
So yeah, we will probably with that definitely do an afternoon show on Saturday because Emergence will take up most of J-Bone's time. So we might have to, we'll figure it out. We'll probably do.
I'll be in San Diego that weekend. I will be away from the world.
Are you going on assignment again?
Yeah, dude, I gotta go see some water, bro. I have to go see it. I gotta jump in the water, put the toes in the sand.
All right.
You know.
So your assignment is dipping your toes in the sand and the water. An hour of that better than AEW.
Yes. Assignment done.
Until he gets bit by a crab or a
starfish or a jellyfish or whatever, and then it's not so pleasant.
San Diego's a little different. San Diego is about 70 degrees all year round. It is not you could definitely go and jump in the ocean, but it's not as enjoyable. So when it's 100 or 90 degrees, the ocean feels great, really. It's a little bit chillier in San Diego.
You're pronouncing it wrong. Baron. I have to correct you. Yes.
Okay, Max.
It's not. You don't have to look at Max. Look at me. It's not pronounced San Diego. It's pronounced San Diego.
Oh, San Diego. Okay.
Meaning a whale's vagina.
Is that the that's yeah, that was a good one.
If you know,
it's Anchorman.
Yeah. I was like, you have to know what movie that is.
I didn't get it until you said the whale's vagina. I was like, yeah, okay. Great. I haven't watched it movie in forever. I always forget their quotes from it though. Great movie.
Oh God, I could quote Anchorman all day. I love that movie. That's going to wrap up the show for this week, and we thank you for joining us on this late night expedition of Ramblers Unleashed, and we'll be back again possibly Saturday afternoon. We'll let you know. Follow the Twitter or the X feed. Follow our Facebook feed too. You can follow the show at The Ramblers Pod on X, and find it on Facebook at Ramblers Unleashed. And if Baron, they would like to follow you, how can they do so?
Find me on the Twitter at Scumbag Jordan 3. I repeat,
3 N's. 3 N's. The only scumbag that matters is Scumbag Jordan with 3 N's.
I'm on there a little bit.
Yeah. Max, how can they follow you, sir?
Listen, first off, I need to let you guys know next week we're coming into that season that overlaps with wrestling just a little bit. So next Saturday I have a live draft I have to be at starting at noon my time, because my time zone is the only one that matters. But if you want to find me, you can find me at Max Magus, or the other podcast I do, the nerdy one, at Our Shots Podcast.
What is this draft that you're talking of, that you're speaking of?
I'm doing, yeah,
football.
Live fantasy football draft. I have one. It's the Money League.
Yeah. I forgot. Shit, I forgot preseason football is on. I haven't watched a single game. I know the Chiefs and the Lions played tonight. Yeah. I don't even know who won. Who won?
Pretty sure Chiefs did.
Fuck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And while
I didn't watch it. The preseason. No, I think the Chiefs did lose. I didn't watch. I don't get into preseason football.
Final score was 24-23. Lions won.
Oh fuck! All right.
Yeah, it's preseason.
Oh boy!
Damn it! I did see Mahomes pass though. I did get to see that. A buddy of mine sent it over to. Yeah, behind the back. God, I'm ready for some football. Anyway, that's on a whole different subject. J-Bone, how can they follow you, sir?
Ooh, Packers and Broncos tomorrow. Oh, sorry. You can follow me on the old Twitter box at jbone5150. You can also find me over on the other little show called Total Nonstop Impact. Yeah, where we cover the whole world of TNA in a nutshell on Thursday nights, Team TNA UK on Wednesdays, and a little bit of TNA on Thursdays.
Yeah, dig it. Yeah. I dig it. I love it. And again, you can follow the show on X at The Ramblers Pod. Find us on Facebook, Ramblers Unleashed. And we're also on Twitch, too. So make sure you tell your friends about us. Just search for Ramblers Unleashed on Twitch. And if you're here on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon to know when we go live again. And we will be back next Saturday. We'll let you know. Just keep monitoring our X feed and our Facebook feed to know when we're going to go live. And again, if you click that little bell icon, it'll send you an alert that, hey, these guys are live and they're ready to talk some wrestling. And until next time, please enjoy professional wrestling for what it is. It's such a good sport. It is such a wonder to watch. And as new things develop, we will definitely be here for you to talk about it. Enjoy professional wrestling, and we will talk to you later. See ya.
Thanks for tuning in to Ramblers Unleashed. Follow the show on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and click the bell icon for notifications of upcoming episodes.